What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Tommy Boy Poker Vlog. I am back in Tampa. I just got home from visiting a bunch of friends and family from my hometown in New York. As you can see, I don't think you've been up here yet. This is my man cave at my house in Tampa. Show you around a little bit. All my sports memorabilia, my arcade, my football helmet from college. Anyway, so I was up there this weekend visiting friends and family, and my best friend took me out to Atlantic City, went and played some cards for a little bit. So for this episode, I was playing 1-2 No Limit Texas Hold'em at Harrahs in Atlantic City. Let's go, guys.
Back in the days we wanted everything. Mama said, burn your biographies, rewrite your history, light up your wildest dreams, museum victories. Every day we wanted everything. Mama said, don't give up, it's a little complicated. All tied up, no more love, and I'd hate to see you waiting. Had to have hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a dime, but I always had a vision. Always had hopes. Had to have hopes for a living. Didn't know how, but I always had a feeling I was gonna be that one in a million. Always had hopes. Mama said, something for oddities, stranger cruises. Ain't ever wannabes, waiting the novelties that don't ever change. We wanted everything. Stay up on that rise, never come down. Oh, stay up on that rise, never come down. Mama said, don't give up, it's a little complicated. All tied up, no more love, and I'd hate to see you waiting. They say it's all been done, but they haven't seen the best of me. So I got one more run, and it's gonna be a sight to see. Had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a dime, but I always had a vision. Always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living. Didn't know how, but I always had a feeling I was gonna be that one in a million. Always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a dime, but I always had a vision. Always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living. Didn't know how, but I always had a feeling I was gonna be that one in a million. Always had high hopes. Tell me what I've gotta do. There's no getting through to you. The lights are on, but nobody's home. You say I can't understand, but you're not giving me a chance. When you leave me, where do you go? All the walls that you keep building, all this time that I spent chasing, all the ways that I keep losing you. And you turn into someone else. You keep running like the sky is falling. I can whisper, I can yell, but I know, yeah, I know, yeah, I know, I'm just talking to myself. Ooh, talking to myself. Ooh, talking to myself. Ooh, but I know, yeah, I know, yeah, I know, I'm just talking to myself. I admit I made mistakes, but yours might cost you everything. Can't you hear me calling you home? The walls that you keep building, all this time that I spend chasing, all the ways that I keep losing you. And the truth is, you turn into someone else. You keep running like the sky is falling. I can whisper, I can yell, but I know, yeah, I know, yeah, I know, I'm just talking to myself. Ooh, talking to myself. Ooh, talking to myself. Ooh, yeah, I know, yeah, I know, yeah, I know, I'm just talking to myself. All the walls that you keep building, all this time that I spend chasing, all the ways that I keep losing you. And the truth is, you turn into someone else. You keep running like the sky is falling. I can whisper, I can yell, but I know, yeah, I know, yeah, I know, I'm just talking to myself. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself. Yeah, I know, yeah, I know, yeah, I know, I'm talking to myself.
All right, guys, this is an interesting hand. We are on the big blind. We look down at king, queen off. There's a $4 under the gun straddle. Under the gun plus one calls the $4 straddle. It folds all the way down to the button, who bumps it up, and he makes it $20 to go. The small blind folds, and I go ahead and I defend my big blind here. It's $20. So I make the call. The under the gun initial straddler calls, and the under the gun plus one call. So we're four ways to a flop, which comes 9, Jack, 4, rainbow. We flop a gut shot, and we also have 2 overs to the board. Out of position, pretty standard check here. The under the gun player bets $22, which is really tiny in comparison to the pot. It's about quarter pot. The under the gun plus one player calls. The button calls. Getting 3-1. I have a gut shot. I have 2 overs to the board. Pretty standard call here. You can make an argument to check raise, I guess, but out of position, I don't think that's the greatest move. So I just go ahead and make the call here. I want to see a turn, which the turn is great. It's the 10 of spades. It completes the rainbow, gives us the nuts. We now have a straight to the king. Out of position again, I check. The under the gun player leads out again, and he makes it $25 again, which is tiny compared to the pot. It's $169 pot. The under the gun plus one player calls the 25. The button folds. Obviously, we're going to bump it up here. I go ahead and check raise. I make it 75 to go. The under the gun player, who is the initial aggressor, he goes ahead and goes into the tank for a full minute, but he ultimately does fold here. The under the gun plus one, though, does make the call. The river's where things get interesting. So the river brings the jack of hearts. It pairs the board. I feel like a jack is very much in the under the gun plus one player's range. I don't think he has a boat here because he didn't. The only combination of hands that can have a boat is obviously jack 10, pocket nines. But he didn't raise the flop when he flopped the set. And if he turned two pair, I don't think he's just going to call the $25. I think he's going to raise. So I go ahead and make it $175 to go. He doesn't snap call. He goes into the tank for a full 2 minutes. So it's pretty clear that he doesn't have a boat here. I'm pretty sure I'm good. But he does make the call. I turn my hand over and I show that I have the king high straight. He mucks his cards. He says we're good. And we take down this massive pot. It's a great pot. So this is the last hand of the evening. It's time to go meet the boys and go to the club.
Nah, you don't know me. Lightning above and a fire below me. You cannot catch me, cannot hold me. You cannot stop, much less control me. When it rains, it pours. When the floodgates open, brace your shores. That pressure don't care when it breaks your door. Say it's all you can take, better take some more. Cause I know what it's like to test fate. Had my shoulders pressed with that weight. Stood up strong in spite of that hate.
That's it for this episode, guys. Check out Harrahs in Atlantic City. It's a great time. Their pool parties are insane. Highly recommend Gordon Ramsay Steakhouse. The food was absolutely incredible. The atmosphere was great. The servers and wait staff and hospitality was amazing. Highly recommend Harrahs down there in Atlantic City. But that's it for this episode. In for 300, out for 915, $615 profit. Good session for only a couple hours. If you like this episode, please like, comment, subscribe down below. Really helps the channel out, and we'll see you next time. Later, guys.
Had my shoulders pressed with that weight. Stood up strong in spite of that hate.